Close your eyes and let the night soften around you. In the quiet, we drift into forgotten worlds where ancient cults once honored sacred symbols, etched in stone and whispered through rituals. These symbols were not just marks, but living prayers, doors to mysteries, comfort for weary souls, and pathways back to the divine. As the stars above guide us, we journey together into 4 peaceful hours of story. Symbols of the serpent, the moon, the tree, and the eternal circle will unfold before us like gentle waves upon the shore. Let each word fall like a candle flame in the dark, soothing your mind and carrying your spirit into calm. This is not a history to analyze, but a dream to enter. A remembering, a soft walk through the hidden temples of human faith. If this journey brings you peace, you are welcome to subscribe, so these calm stories may return to you each night. And if you wish, gently share in the comments where in the world you are listening from, so that our circle of peace grows ever wider. The night is still. A gentle hush moves across the unseen hills. The stars breathe quietly above, as if listening. And in the center of this silence, a small flame flickers. It dances in the cradle of stone. Its light is soft, never rushing. Shadows stretch slowly along the ground, weaving shapes that bend and sway. The flame whispers and the darkness leans closer to hear. This is the first fire, a gift remembered by every ancient people. A light carried from one generation to another. More than warmth, more than light. It was the bridge between earth and sky. Long ago, in deserts of endless sand, people gathered in circles around fire. The wind would sweep over dunes, carrying with it the cool breath of night. And yet, within the circle, there was warmth, safety, and belonging. Flames rose upward like golden prayers reaching for the stars. In the mountains, high where the air thins, fires were lit on sacred stones. They were seen from far valleys, glowing like eyes of the divine. Priests and wanderers alike would lift their hands toward the blaze, believing it was the very breath of heaven, touching earth for a moment. In villages by rivers, families lit fires at dusk. The glow reflected on the water, making it seem as though a second sun had been born upon the waves. Children listened to old stories while the sparks leapt upward, and the elders whispered of gods and ancestors, their voices blending with the crackle of wood. The flame became more than light. It became a messenger. It consumed what was of the earth, wood, grass, dried herbs, and turned them into smoke that rose into the unseen sky. To many, this was prayer itself, an offering carried upward on warm currents of air. Imagine now, drifting in your rest, the way the smoke curls, like silver ribbons in the night. They rise, turning gently, never hurried, as if they know their destination, as if the stars are waiting to receive them. For the people of old, fire was alive. It breathed, it fed. It slept when the ashes cooled. It woke again with a spark, glowing red as dawn, and so it was honored. Never just a tool, always a companion, always a reminder of what connects the seen with the unseen. In ancient temples, fire was kept burning through every hour. Priests and guardians tended it carefully, never allowing the sacred flame to die. It was said that as long as the fire lived, the people's covenant with the divine remained unbroken. A single flame could light countless others. One torch could kindle 100 lamps, and yet lose none of its own light. This mystery gave comfort, that sharing did not diminish the source but made it multiply, like love itself, passed from hand to hand. Some called fire the child of the sun. Others believed it to be the breath of gods, hidden in dry wood until drawn forth by spark. And still others saw it as a spirit that wandered freely, choosing to appear in the hearths of those who honored it. Picture now a circle of travelers at night, their cloaks pulled close, their eyes heavy with sleep. They sit near the fire, watching its soft rhythm, the embers glowing like sleeping stars. No words are needed. The flame itself speaks. It tells them that morning will come. It assures them that the cold cannot overcome their light. It promises that night too is sacred, for without darkness the flame could not shine. You too may feel its calm, its quiet crackle, its slow dance, as if the fire breathes in and out, keeping time with your own soft breath. In Greece, the hearth was sacred to Hestia, goddess of the flame that warms every home. In her fire, families found unity. Guests were welcomed beside her hearth, and prayers began with offerings of her light. In India, Agni was the fire god, carrier of offerings to the heavens. Every spark, every flame was seen as his presence, faithful, luminous, and eternal. Among the Persians, the sacred flame was tended in Zoroastrian temples. It was seen as purity itself, a fire that cleansed, a fire that reminded humanity of truth and goodness. And still farther away, in the cold of northern lands, fires were lit to call back the sun in the heart of winter. Their glow told the people that even in the darkest nights, light would always return. Fire was also a circle of memory. At funerals, pyres were built, lifting the spirit of the departed through smoke and flame. It was not seen as an ending, but as a passage. The fire carried the soul upward, beyond the reach of mortal grief. At weddings, flames burned bright, tying together the lives of two people. The fire was witness, blessing, and eternal guardian of vows. In festivals, great fires blazed, around which songs and dances unfolded. The light touched every face, making each person radiant in its embrace. It was joy without words, a reminder that humanity and divinity are not far apart, but woven together, like flame and air. Now let the scene slow. The fire is before you, its glow soft upon your closed eyes. The air is cool, the earth firm beneath. The night is wide, but not empty. The flame keeps watch. Its warmth is steady. Its voice is gentle. Its presence is a promise that in all seasons, in all lands, light can be born from the simplest spark. Listen as it sighs. See how it bows, then rises again, a dancer who never grows weary. Every movement is prayer. Every flicker is a song of the divine. The ancients taught that the flame mirrors the soul. It may tremble, but it does not vanish. It may grow small, yet within the ember hides a world of fire, waiting to bloom again. And so to look upon flame was to look upon one's own spirit. Fragile, yes, but also unbreakable. You drift beside it now. Your thoughts move like the smoke, slow, light, and vanishing into the sky. Your breath keeps pace with its rhythm. Inhale, exhale, glow, fade, all in balance. The fire tells you stories without words, stories of beginnings, when humankind first gathered to share its light, stories of temples that guarded its flame through centuries, stories of quiet nights when a lone traveler carried a torch against the cold. All of these moments live inside the flame. Every spark remembers. Every ember holds echoes of countless nights before this one. And as you rest, you are part of that memory too. The first flame is never lost. It burns in hearths, in temples, in candles at prayer, and in the gentle glow of every heart that chooses love. Close to its warmth you are safe. You are held. The night is not empty, for the flame keeps watch. Let it soothe your mind. Let it guide you into silence. And as the fire bends low, its sparks drift upward, joining the stars that shine above. The flame rests, and so do you. Let us drift onward, into deeper night, into softer dreams, where the sacred fire still glows. The night is gentle. The air lies still, like a blanket of velvet. Above, the stars form their quiet patterns. They shine not in straight lines, but in curves that seem to bend and return, circling in their silent dance. You drift into this stillness, and before you, a circle appears. It may be carved in stone, or traced in the dust of an old path. It may be drawn in the sky by the arc of the moon. It holds no beginning and no end. It is whole. It is endless. Since the earliest days, the circle has been seen as a sacred sign. In fields of green and gold, stones were placed in perfect rings, standing tall against wind and rain. Those who gathered there looked through the circle to the horizon, watching the sun rise and fall, watching the seasons turn. The circle became a map of time. Spring followed winter. Morning followed night. The seed became a plant, then fruit, then seed again. All things returned. All things were renewed. In the deserts, circles were drawn in sand. They marked the place of prayer, the safe space between the human and the divine. When the wind swept the lines away, the people drew them again, trusting that what vanishes can also return. In temples across many lands, priests walked in circles around sacred fire. Each step was part of a cycle, each turn a reminder that life is not a straight path, but a circle of return. The circle is not only seen on the earth, it is written in the sky. The sun arcs over the day, falling into night, and rising once more. The moon waxes and wanes, growing bright, then fading, then glowing again. The planets turn in endless wheels. The stars circle the pole, as if never tiring of their dance. Look softly at the heavens, and you will see the circle everywhere. a reminder that all things move and all things return. To the Celts, stone circles stood as gateways. Each ring of rock was a mirror of the sky. They believed the circle gathered power, holding within it the voices of gods and ancestors. When the wind moved through those stones, it was said to carry whispers, soft songs of memory and blessing. To the Hindus, the circle appeared in the mandala, woven with patterns of lotus and flame. It was a picture of the universe, a map of the soul's journey, a vision of endless wholeness. To the Buddhists, the wheel of Dharma turned, showing the path of rebirth, life flowing into death, death flowing into life, a circle without end, until enlightenment opened the way beyond. In the heart of the circle is stillness. No matter how wide the ring, its center is calm. The circle moves around it, but the center does not break. So too the soul may find its center, a place untouched by the turning of days. There, peace remains. There, silence holds. Imagine now, you are standing within such a circle. The ground beneath is cool, the night sky above wide and patient. Around you, stones rise like guardians. Their shapes are simple, but their presence is eternal. They have stood through storms, through countless dawns, through the passing of unnumbered lives. And yet still they remain. So too does the circle of life remain, holding you gently within it. In Egypt, the sun god Ra was shown sailing in a golden circle, his bark rising with morning light, falling with evening shadow, only to rise again. Each day was a rebirth, each night a journey through the underworld. But the circle always closed. The story always began anew. In Greece, the Ouroboros appeared, the serpent swallowing its own tail, a symbol of eternity, of cycles unbroken. It showed that creation and destruction are not enemies, but partners. The end and the beginning are the same breath. Close your eyes more deeply now. See the circle within yourself. Your heart beats in rhythm, round and round, like a drum echoing the pattern of time. Your breath moves in cycles, in and out, rise and fall. Even in rest, you are a circle, a living mandala of motion and stillness. There is no rush, no beginning to chase, no ending to fear. You are carried gently, just as the stars are carried, just as the moon drifts and returns. In many lands, circles marked sacred dances. People joined hands, moving slowly around fire, their steps weaving stories without words. The circle held them together, no one above, no one below, each face touched by the same firelight, each voice lifted in the same gentle song. The circle teaches unity. It tells that what is shared is never lost. Like the flame that lights many candles, the circle widens but never ends. It holds all without breaking. Now the circle begins to soften, like mist in morning. It fades into the stars, but its lesson remains. There is no final edge. There is always return. Where life bends, it bends toward life again. Let this truth calm you. Let it rest upon you like a soft cloak of night. The eternal circle is already around you and within you. There is nothing more to seek, nothing more to hold. And so, as the stars drift, as the night deepens, you too may drift in the circle's rhythm. Inhale, exhale, rise, fall. A breath without beginning, a breath without end. Let the circle carry you. Let it close softly around your rest. And as your thoughts grow quiet, as your body becomes still, remember, the circle has no edge. You are already whole. Now rest as the stars return. Let us drift onward, into the next dream, into the next turning, where the eternal circle continues, calm and endless, forever. The night deepens. The air is cool, carrying the faint scent of earth after rain. A pale moon drifts above, silver and patient, casting soft light upon the ground. There, in the stillness, a shape glides. Silent, graceful, unhurried. It is the serpent. Its body curves like water. Its scales glimmer faintly, as if they carry pieces of the night sky. It moves without sound, yet every step of the earth seems to know its presence. The serpent is both mystery and memory. It carries the wisdom of ancient time. From the earliest days, the serpent was seen as more than an animal. Its motion was a language. Its shedding of skin a story. Its return from hidden places a promise. People watched it vanish into holes in the earth, then rise again, renewed. They saw in this a cycle of death and rebirth. The spirit leaving one body, yet returning in another. Like the moon, it disappeared, yet always returned. Like the seasons, it faded, yet was born again. The serpent became a sign of immortality, a quiet reminder that endings are never the end. In the temples of Egypt, the serpent was painted on walls, twined around suns and stars. The goddess Wadjet, with the form of a cobra, guarded the pharaohs with her fiery gaze. On crowns, the serpent rose, a living flame of protection, striking at those who threatened the sacred. The serpent was not only danger, but guardian. It stood at the threshold of mystery, allowing passage only to those who came with reverence. In India, serpents were called nagas, spirits of rivers, lakes, and deep waters. They were seen as givers of rain, keepers of hidden treasures. Some stories told of nagas who guarded jewels, glowing with light deep beneath the waters. Others spoke of serpents coiled beneath the earth, their movements causing the tremors of the land. And yet, they were also healers. Images of serpents appeared on staffs and altars, symbols of medicine, of balance, of life restored. The serpent's poison was feared, but also understood as power, a force that could harm, yet also cure. In its duality, the serpent mirrored the truth of life itself. Among the Greeks, the rod of Asclepius bore a single serpent, twining upward toward light. It was the mark of healing, of wisdom that flowed from nature itself. Even today, the image of serpent and staff remains, carried as a sign of medicine across the world. The serpent was wisdom hidden in plain sight, a teacher that moved close to the earth, yet carried knowledge that touched the sky. The serpent also wound itself into the image of eternity. The Ouroboros, a serpent swallowing its own tail, was a circle without beginning, a circle without end. It whispered of cycles, of time repeating itself, of wholeness that cannot be broken. To gaze upon the Ouroboros was to gaze upon the endless journey of the soul, birth becoming death, death becoming life, change flowing into change, yet the circle always whole. Close your eyes now. Imagine the serpent's motion. It does not move in straight lines, but in curves, in spirals, in paths that fold back upon themselves. This too is wisdom. Life is rarely straight. It bends, it coils, it returns. Like the serpent, your own path curves, yet always carries you forward. The earth listens to the serpent's touch. Every blade of grass bends gently as it passes. The ground feels its weight, yet receives it softly. The serpent teaches that wisdom is not loud. It is not hurried. It is subtle, flowing quietly like breath in the night. In some lands, serpents were honored as dragons, mighty beings that held the secrets of the earth. They coiled around mountains, their scales shining with the light of hidden fire. They were feared, yet also revered, for in their bodies lay the balance of creation and destruction. In other places, serpents were carved upon stones, etched into jewelry, woven into myths of gods and heroes. They always carried both faces, the danger of death and the promise of renewal. The serpent was never only one thing. It was both shadow and light, both poison and medicine, both guardian and destroyer. In this it showed the truth of life itself, that opposites live side by side, and wholeness is found in their union. Picture now a sacred grove. The trees stand tall, their branches swaying gently in the night breeze. At the roots, the serpent rests, coiled in silence. Its eyes are calm, like two small moons. It does not strike, it does not chase. It waits, patient as stone, still as water. This is the serpent's wisdom, that power does not always move, that strength is found in stillness, that waiting can be as mighty as action, and when the time comes, the serpent moves again, flowing like a river, gliding like a shadow, a reminder that every pause is only the space before motion. The serpent also speaks through its skin. When it sheds, the old is left behind, thin and empty, yet perfectly shaped. The serpent emerges shining, renewed, as if born once more. This became a symbol for the ancients, a lesson written in the body of the serpent. That life too can shed its layers, that the past can be left behind, that even after long darkness, renewal waits. To watch a serpent shed its skin was to witness the soul itself, leaving behind what is finished, yet carrying forward the life within. Let your thoughts now move like the serpent, slow, winding, unhurried. Let them shed the day, slipping softly away like skin released to the earth. What remains is the quiet glow of being, the spirit renewed, the heart unburdened. The serpent carries this gift, that nothing is wasted. Even endings feed beginnings. Even shadows prepare the way for light. In the silence of night, the serpent rests again. Its body curls into a circle, its tail meeting its mouth. It becomes the Ouroboros, symbol of eternity. No start, no finish, only the endless turning, the endless renewal. The stars above circle as well. The moon moves in its curve. The rivers wind and return. All things echo the serpent's wisdom that life flows in cycles, that nothing is truly lost. The air grows softer now. The earth is calm. The serpent fades into shadow, its wisdom carried in memory. It leaves no sound behind, only the gentle echo of its truth. That life renews. That silence holds power. That endings open into beginnings. That wholeness is found in the union of all things. Rest now with this wisdom. Let it coil gently within your mind. Let it soothe you, like the rhythm of a soft breeze. You are safe. You are renewed. You are whole. The serpent glides into the dream world. Its motion becomes your rest. Its circle becomes your calm. Now rest as the stars return. Let us drift onward into deeper sleep, into quieter light, where the serpent still moves, silent, eternal, forever. The night is quiet. A cool wind drifts through the dark, carrying the faint sound of leaves moving against one another. They whisper like old voices, gentle and patient, woven with memory. In the distance, a tree rises. Its trunk is wide, its roots buried deep into the earth. Its branches stretch upward, reaching into the sky where stars shimmer softly. The tree stands between darkness and light, between soil and heaven, between what is seen and what is hidden. This is the sacred tree, the axis of the world, the bridge between realms. Long ago, people looked upon trees with awe. They saw not only wood and leaves, but a map of existence itself. Roots pressed into the mystery below. Branches opened into the sky. The trunk stood in the middle, a pillar that held the worlds together. To touch the bark was to touch time. To hear the rustle of leaves was to hear the breath of the unseen. The sacred tree was more than life. It was connection. In the frozen north, the Norse spoke of Yggdrasil, a great ash tree, evergreen, its crown spreading across the heavens. Its roots sank into wells of wisdom, where serpents moved and waters of fate flowed. Its branches reached over gods and humans, animals and spirits. On its boughs perched an eagle, eyes sharp as dawn. At its roots, a dragon coiled, breathing shadows. Between them, a squirrel ran, carrying whispers from crown to root, binding the tree with endless messages. Yggdrasil held all beings. The 9 worlds rested upon it. It was not only a tree, it was the universe, alive, pulsing with breath, always renewing. Far away under another sky, a prince once sat beneath a tree. Its shade was calm, its branches sheltering him from the burning sun. This was the Bodhi tree, a fig tree with heart-shaped leaves rustling gently in the wind. There, the prince closed his eyes. He sank into silence, seeking truth, seeking freedom from the wheel of suffering. Through nights of deep stillness, while stars wheeled overhead, he sat. And when dawn came, light spilled through the branches. Beneath that sacred tree, the prince awoke into enlightenment. He became the Buddha. The Bodhi tree became a symbol, not of many worlds, but of awakening within one's own heart. Its roots held the earth. Its leaves quivered with wisdom. Its presence was a doorway into stillness. In other lands, the tree appeared in different forms. In Mesopotamia, the tree of life rose between 2 beings, a fountain of fertility and blessing. Its fruits glowed, gifts of the divine. In Persia, a holy tree bore seeds of all plants, each drop of its nectar a promise of renewal. Even in the desert, among tribes who wandered under scorching suns, trees were sacred. A single palm could mean water nearby, shade for rest, life preserved in endless sand. Everywhere the tree was remembered, as mother, as bridge, as the living map of creation. Close your eyes now. Imagine standing before the sacred tree. Its bark is rough and strong, but warm beneath your hand. It has stood for centuries, weathering storms, welcoming birds, outlasting kings and empires. The roots dig deep. You cannot see where they end. They twist into the soil, down through stone, reaching the underworld where hidden rivers flow. The branches rise high. They break into countless leaves, each one catching moonlight, each one moving with the rhythm of air. To look up is to gaze into a starry sky of green. The sacred tree joins the two realms, earth and heaven, darkness and light. To the ancients, this image was not only beauty, it was teaching. The roots showed where we come from, the mystery, the shadow, the deep soil of memory. The trunk showed where we stand, the present, the strength to endure, too. The branches showed where we reach, toward light, toward spirit, toward what waits beyond. The tree became the axis of life. To climb it in the mind was to rise from one world into another. At night, when all grows silent, the sacred tree is said to hum. Its roots drink from hidden springs. Its leaves tremble like strings of a harp. The song it makes is older than language. It is the music of being. Those who rest beneath it find their dreams touched by its voice. Some dream of journeys through stars. Some dream of rivers running beneath the ground. Some dream of wings unfolding, of lives long past, of futures yet to come. The sacred tree holds them all. Its dreams are endless, its patience eternal. Let your breath follow its rhythm. Slow, deep, like roots sinking, like branches lifting. The sacred tree does not hurry, it does not force. It grows quietly, season by season, circle by circle. Each ring within its trunk is a memory, a year folded gently into its body. So too is your life, ring by ring, day by day, layer by layer. All held, all remembered, all resting in the great trunk of your being. The sacred tree is not only outside, it is within. Your breath is its wind, your spine its trunk, your thoughts its branches, your soul its root. You are not separate from it. You are part of its growing, part of its reaching, part of its stillness. Now the night deepens. The stars gather close, watching the tree with silver eyes. The wind grows softer, a lullaby woven through the leaves. The sacred tree stands unmoved, yet alive in every motion. It bridges past and future. It ties sky to soil. It holds silence and song together. You may rest here, beneath its branches, upon its roots, cradled in its shade, for the sacred tree watches. It guards, it renews, it whispers without words. Rest now as roots hold you steady, as branches lift your spirit, as leaves sing you into sleep. The sacred tree remains, the axis of the world, the map of existence, the stillness at the heart of all things. Now drift with its breath. Now sleep beneath its shade. Now rest as the stars return. The night has deepened. The air is cool and still, and above, the moon has risen. It hangs like a lantern in the sky, a silver circle glowing softly, casting a gentle light across the quiet earth. The path before you is washed in its glow. Stones shine faintly. Leaves glimmer as though brushed with pearl. Shadows are long, yet tender, stretching like calm rivers beneath trees and hills. Everything is softened beneath this glow. It is not the harsh light of the sun. It is a light of mystery, of reflection, of dreams. For ancient peoples, the moon was not just a body in the sky. It was mother, guardian, mirror of hidden waters. Her phases guided the flow of life. Seeds were sown by her cycle. Journeys were timed by her glow. Prayers rose with her rising. Each phase was a story. The new moon, dark and unseen, was a time of silence and renewal. The crescent, delicate as a blade of silver, promised growth. The full moon, round and radiant, was a time of gathering, a time of song, a time when the night itself seemed alive. And when the moon waned, her light fading into shadow, it was a time of letting go, a time of endings that made space for beginnings. The moon taught that life moves in cycles, not a straight road, but a circle, like her endless dance in the sky. In Mesopotamia, the moon was honored as Nana, the god who measured time. His glow told shepherds when to guide their flocks. His phases told farmers when to plant and when to harvest. He was the keeper of rhythm, the one who marked the days. In Egypt, the moon was linked with Thoth, the god of wisdom and writing. His light was thought to guide thought itself, turning the silence of night into knowledge and dream. In Greece, the moon was Selene, a goddess crowned with silver light. She drove her chariot across the sky, her horses stirring the night winds. Her face was calm, yet her power vast, for she moved tides and hearts alike. And in Rome she was Luna, the eternal watcher, the one whose glow softened the darkness and reminded all beings that they were never truly alone. But beyond names, beyond temples and prayers, the moon was always presence. It was the glow that comforted travelers. It was the rhythm that guided the farmer. It was the face that looked down on lovers, mothers, wanderers, and children. The moon was shared by all, one light seen by every eye, uniting the earth in its soft embrace. Close your eyes now. Imagine stepping onto the moonlit path. The world is quiet, only the sound of your breath, the gentle rhythm of your steps, and the soft chorus of night insects around you. The moonlight falls on your shoulders like silk. It does not weigh. It does not burn. It soothes, like a gentle hand resting upon you. The path bends and flows like a river of silver. Every stone sparkles. Every leaf carries a droplet of light. Above, the moon keeps her watch. Her face follows, calm and unblinking, a companion in your journey through the night. The moon was also mystery, for she changed her shape, yet never disappeared. She thinned to a crescent, then vanished into darkness, only to return again, full and radiant. For ancient eyes, this was a lesson of life. All things fade, but all things return. The moon was death and rebirth, loss and renewal, shadow and shining. She was the mirror of the human heart, sometimes hidden, sometimes bright, yet always present, always returning. Priests of old gathered under her glow. They lit fires, sang chants, and raised their eyes to the sky. They believed her light was a doorway, a bridge between the seen and the unseen. Women too followed her rhythm, for their own bodies moved in cycles, mirroring the moon. They saw her as sister, as guide, as the one who whispered to their blood and breath. And for dreamers, the moon was the keeper of visions. Her glow stirred the sleeping mind. Her silence opened doors into the inner world. Dreams beneath her light were said to carry wisdom, messages wrapped in shadows, songs of the soul. Beneath the full moon, villages once gathered. Drums pulsed like heartbeats, feet stamped upon earth, dust rising in rhythm. Songs drifted into the night air, carried to the stars. It was a time of celebration, a time when darkness was no longer feared, for the moon made it bright, made it sacred. Children laughed. Elders told stories. Travelers rested their weary bones, comforted by the glow. The moon gave safety in the dark. She made the night a friend, not an enemy. Now imagine sitting upon a quiet hill. The path behind you has faded into shadow. The path before you gleams with silver. The air is still. A bird stirs in a tree. An owl calls, low and steady. The moon above shines in her fullness, round, calm, bright, yet gentle. Her light rests upon your face, your hands, your chest, as if blessing you with her touch. You are part of her rhythm. You are part of her silence. You are part of her mystery. The moon reminds you that all things move in time. All things wax and wane. Moments of fullness, moments of emptiness, moments of shadow, moments of light. Yet nothing is lost forever. The circle always returns. The light always comes again. The moon is the soft keeper of this truth. Her path across the sky is steady, her return certain, her patience infinite, so rest beneath her glow. Let the moonlight wash over you. Let it cool the heat of the day. Let it soften the weight of thought. Breathe slowly. Breathe deeply. Feel the rhythm of her presence. The moonlit path stretches onward, but for now you need not walk it. You may simply sit, simply rest, simply be. The moon watches. The night sings. The earth breathes, and you too may drift into stillness. The moonlit path fades into dream. The silver glow softens into shadow. The night folds around you like a cloak. Now rest as the moon keeps her watch. Now dream as her light moves across the sky. Now sleep as the stars return. The night is still and your body is soft with rest. You are lying beneath the quiet of the stars, yet far away, beyond the veil of darkness, a gentle light begins to stir. It is not yet dawn. It is the dream of dawn. a shimmer on the horizon, a promise waiting to rise. The air carries a hush, as though the earth itself is holding its breath. Shadows rest gently across the land, and in the silence you can almost hear the turning of the heavens. The world waits, as it has always waited, for the great return of the sun. Slowly in your mind's eye, the horizon opens. Colors soften into being. Faint strokes of pale gold, whispers of rose, and the tender brush of morning blue. The night retreats like a curtain being drawn, and the sky begins to glow with living warmth. The sun is not yet high, but already its crown glimmers. A circle of fire rising, a diadem of light upon the brow of the world. It feels eternal. It feels royal. It feels like the breath of life itself. Long ago, in temples of stone and clay, people turned their faces toward this crown of light. They carved walls that opened to the east. They built pillars aligned with the rising. Each morning, they stood before the growing glow, not as subjects of fear, but as children in awe. For them, the sun was not only warmth, it was king, it was guardian, it was ruler of the hours, giver of crops, awakener of songbirds. To rise was to bless, to set was to promise return. Imagine standing among them, feet bare upon cool stone, torches fading as daylight comes, a soft breeze moving through linen cloth, carrying the scent of earth and incense. All eyes lifted, waiting for the crown of the sky to shine. In Egypt, the sun was Ra. His journey was eternal, riding a golden bark across the heavens by day and through hidden waters by night. The pharaohs wore his image upon their crowns, for to rule in his light was to rule with sacred blessing. Each dawn was his rebirth, his triumph over darkness. And so the people rose with him, hearts steady in the rhythm of his eternal passage. In far lands of the Americas, too, the sun was crowned. The Maya and the Inca lifted golden discs to mirror its glow. Priests watched its path across sky and stone, measuring the sacred calendars of planting and harvest. Every glimmer of sunlight on the temple steps was a message. Every shadow was a sign. In Norse stories, the sun was a radiant goddess, chased across the sky by a great wolf. She wore her crown even as she fled, a light that could never be swallowed fully, for dawn would always return. Her shining path was the thread of hope. Her crown was the promise that no night was endless. Across cultures, across time, the sun was more than light. It was order. It was crown. It was the living circle that shaped life's rhythm. Close your eyes and picture it now. The sun as a great crown upon the head of the earth. Golden rays flowing outward like long, delicate jewels. Each spark a blessing. Each beam a reminder that you are part of the circle too. The crown of the sun does not rest upon one head alone. It rests upon rivers that glitter in its shine. It rests upon mountains that glow red with dawn. It rests upon the leaves that drink its light and the blossoms that unfold to greet it. Even your skin, soft and warm in memory, wears this crown when sunlight touches it. The world itself is crowned. The day itself is crowned. Every moment of warmth is a jewel set into the golden circle of time. Imagine now a quiet path. The morning has fully risen and the light is gentle. You walk among fields bathed in honeyed glow. The stalks of grain bow their heads as if in reverence. Birds rise and fall in the soft air, wings touched with gold. Each step is slow, unhurried. Each breath is easy, filled with the quiet gift of light. You reach a temple of ancient stone. It is not crowded, it is calm. The great archway opens toward the east, where the sun climbs steadily. A beam of light falls through the doorway, filling the chamber with living fire. Upon the altar lies a simple golden disc. It is smooth, polished, and radiant. Not bright enough to dazzle, but soft, like a mirror of dawn. It represents the crown of the sun, the crown of life, the crown of return. You stand in silence as others once did. No words are needed. Only breath, only stillness, only light. The crown of the sun is not only above, it is within. Every heartbeat reflects its rhythm. Every pulse of warmth in your body is the echo of its flame. The breath you take, slow and deep, is part of its endless gift. Ancient kings wore golden bands to show their bond with the sun, yet the truest crown was never on their brows. It was always in the living glow of each soul, a light within, steady and calm. The sun is high now. Its crown shines fully, stretching over sea and forest, desert and meadow. No land is forgotten, no creature left untouched. All share in the golden gift. Even as you lie here resting, your spirit is bathed in its crown. Though your eyes are closed, the warmth of memory remains. Though night surrounds you now, you are still held within its circle. For the crown of the sun never truly fades. It only rests, only hides, only waits to rise again. And so the day moves on. Shadows grow longer, the crown lowers toward the horizon, and the light softens into quiet gold. But even as the sun sets, its crown is not broken. It bends, it flows, it melts into twilight. Its jewels become stars scattered across the heavens. Its circle becomes a memory in the heart. Darkness returns. But within darkness the promise glows. The crown will rise again. The circle is endless. The gift never ceases. Now rest. Breathe softly. Feel the quiet crown within your chest. A golden warmth. A calm circle of light. It rests upon you as gently as dawn upon a still horizon. The world is cradled in this rhythm. Night into day. Light into shadow. Crown into crown. Let your spirit drift with it. Let your thoughts grow soft. Let your body fall deeper into rest. The sun's crown will rise again. It always does. And until then, you are safe in its circle. You are held in its warmth. You are crowned with its light. Now drift onward. Now rest as the stars return, and the crown of the sun dreams quietly above the horizon, waiting to shine once more. Night has returned, deep and endless. The air is still, carrying only the hush of distant winds. Above you, the sky opens wide, like a great dark sea, and the stars appear one by one. They rise softly like lanterns set afloat in the heavens. Each spark is a gentle light, each glimmer a whisper. The world feels quiet, held in the calm of the night. You are lying in this silence, resting, breathing slowly. And as your eyes close in dream, the sky remains before you. Its stars are countless. Its canvas stretches without end. The night becomes a map, drawn in lights too far to touch, yet close enough to guide. Long ago, people lifted their gaze to these same stars. They stood upon desert sands, mountain peaks, and grassy plains. They saw patterns in the night, shapes traced from one light to another, stories carved upon the darkness. The sky became a mirror of life, a guide for journey, a scripture of fire and shadow. Imagine a priest standing in a temple courtyard. The stones beneath him are cool. A bowl of oil burns softly by his side. He tilts his head back, robes brushing the earth, and with a slow hand he traces the heavens. This star, that star. Lines connect in the mind until the hunter, the bird, the goddess, the serpent appear. Each constellation carries meaning. Each cluster carries a prayer. For the Babylonians, the stars were the writing of the gods. They kept careful watch, marking how each light moved. They believed the heavens spoke through patterns, shaping the destiny of kings, the harvest of fields, the lives of all. Their priests bent over clay tablets, carving symbols of starlight, turning the night sky into a sacred book. The Egyptians, too, followed the map of the stars. They saw Orion as Osiris, the god of rebirth. They aligned their pyramids to match the belt of stars, as though Earth itself were a reflection of the heavens. When they gazed upward, they were not looking away from life, but into its deepest meaning. The stars were guides for the soul's passage, maps for eternity, and the Greeks told their stories in constellations. Heroes, gods, and creatures shimmered above. Andromeda, Perseus, Pegasus, all became eternal in the night. The myths were not only tales. They were reminders that the heavens carried memory, and memory was never lost. Every culture looked upward. Every culture found meaning. And in the stillness of this night, you too can rest beneath their map. Picture yourself lying in an open field. Grass soft beneath you, the night air cool and calm. The stars are bright, unbroken by clouds. You breathe, and the sky seems to breathe with you. The lights above pulse like steady hearts, patient, unhurried. Slowly, a pattern begins to show. You notice one star, then another, then another. Your mind gently connects them and a form appears. Perhaps it is a bird, wings outstretched, flying forever. Perhaps it is a river, winding across the heavens. Perhaps it is simply a circle, eternal and complete. The map does not need to be the same for all. It is enough that the stars speak to you, softly, in their way. The star map is not only for the eyes, it is for the heart. Each light is a reminder, each constellation a symbol. The hunter reminds us of courage, the goddess of love, the serpent of transformation, the river of passage, the circle of return. These symbols are not far. They live within you as much as above you. For what is a star but a fire, and what is a soul but a flame? The map of the sky is also the map of your spirit. You carry the constellations within, Long ago, travelers followed the star map. On seas of black water, sailors steered by the North Star, steady and unmoving. On long desert journeys, caravans guided their camels by the arc of constellations. The stars were compass and calendar, direction and promise. In their glow, no one was ever fully lost. The heavens always pointed the way, and so, as you drift here, resting, you are also guided, not across land or sea, but across the quiet journey of night. The star map leads you deeper into stillness, deeper into peace, each star a soft step, leading you farther into rest. In India, the stars were seen as divine beings, shining from the heavens. They were called nakshatras, the mansions of the moon. The path of the moon was traced among them, marking sacred time. Each constellation was a dwelling, a doorway of meaning. The sky was not empty, it was alive with presence. In China, too, the heavens were a great kingdom. The stars were officials, rulers, guardians of the cosmic order. Emperors aligned their palaces with the sky, believing the harmony of earth must reflect the harmony above. To live rightly was to live in step with the star map. The Inca called themselves the children of the sun, yet they also read the dark spaces between stars. They saw animals, rivers, and sacred shapes in the shadows as well as the light. For them, the night was whole, not only the shining, but also the soft darkness between. And so the star map teaches gently. Light is guide, shadow is guide. Both belong, both lead. Now in your own night, the stars above lean closer. The air grows deeper, like velvet laid across the sky. The map unfolds before you. No rush, no effort. The constellations drift slowly into view, like old friends arriving one by one. You follow them with your spirit. Your breath is steady, your body quiet. The stars move above you like a river of silver, and you float upon it. You drift without weight, without worry, without time. Each star whispers a blessing. Each constellation hums a song. The hunter tells you, be steady. The goddess tells you, be gentle. The serpent tells you, change is safe. The river tells you, flow onward. The circle tells you, return to peace. You do not need to hold these words. You do not need to keep them. They move through you like the light of the stars, soft, calm, eternal. The night grows deeper. The sky is filled with countless sparks. It is not possible to see them all, yet they are there. Even the smallest star is part of the great map. Even the faintest glow belongs so too with your thoughts. Even those that flicker, even those that fade, all belong to the gentle map of your mind. There is no need to cling, no need to search, only to rest, to float, to drift in the quiet circle of night. The priests of long ago are gone. The temples, the tablets, the golden discs, all have faded. But the star map remains. It has always remained. And tonight, it rests above you, as it has rested above all before. Unbroken, unfailing, endless. As you breathe, you join that ancient silence. As you close your eyes, the star map is still there, waiting, shimmering, holding. It does not fade when you sleep. It does not vanish when you dream. It stays like a patient guardian. And so, let the stars cradle you. Let the map of the night carry you. Let your spirit wander slowly among constellations, guided by their soft light. The sky is wide. The night is safe. The map is yours. Drift onward now. Rest as the stars return. The map will guide you still, through dreams, through silence, through the long, gentle night. Night drapes softly over the world once more. The air is hushed and the silence is deep. A faint glow of moonlight lingers on stone, and a single candle flickers in the stillness. Its flame bends gently as though bowing to the quiet. The earth feels calm, and above all, there is a sense of being watched. Not with fear, not with judgment, but with care, as though an unseen gaze holds the night in safety. You rest within this gaze. Your breath is steady, your body calm. Somewhere beyond the surface of things, the symbol of the sacred eye begins to open. It is not harsh, not blinding. It is a soft, eternal watching, like the stars above, like the quiet within. In the temples of ancient Egypt, the eye of Horus was drawn upon stone, painted upon wood, carved into amulets worn close to the skin. They believed it was a shield, a guardian eye that looked outward, keeping harm at a distance. It was called the Wedjat, whole and unbroken, a sign of healing and renewal. The story was told of Horus, the falcon god, whose eye was once torn in battle. but the eye was healed, restored, and so it became a sign not only of vision but of recovery, of wholeness regained after loss. To carry the eye was to carry protection. To see the eye was to remember, all that is broken may be made whole again. Imagine standing at the doorway of such a temple. Columns rise like tall trees around you. Torches burn low, their light golden and soft. At the center, painted in rich color, the eye gazes outward. It does not blink. It does not waver. It simply watches, calm as still water, steady as the desert sky. The sacred eye was not only Egypt's treasure. Across many lands the symbol appeared. In Greece and Anatolia, small blue amulets shaped like eyes were worn, to ward off envy, to shield from unseen harm. These were called nazar, little mirrors of protection. They reflected back any shadow of ill will, returning the gaze of harm with light. In the Middle East, these eyes of glass still shine today, hung above doors, tied to cradles, carried in the pocket. The eye does not fight with anger. It simply looks, and in looking, it calms, it turns aside what does not belong. In India, too, the eye was a symbol of divine sight. Shiva, the god of stillness and fire, was said to hold a third eye upon his brow. When it opened, it was a flame of truth, burning through illusion. Yet it was also the inner eye, the eye that sees not with flesh, but with spirit. To meditate was to let this eye awaken within, to see beyond shadow, to rest in what is eternal. The sacred eye is both outer and inner. It looks upon the world, and it looks within the soul. It is watchful, yet gentle. It protects, yet it does not bind. It opens, and in its opening, all becomes clear, all becomes safe. You may picture the eye now, a shape of almond, long and calm, a pupil dark and still. Around it glows a soft light, like the halo of the moon upon water. It does not stare with sharpness. It gazes with quiet care. Its watching is like a lullaby. It sees you without judgment. It knows you without asking. And in its gaze, all is forgiven. All is held. The Celts, too, told of eyes that were sacred. The eye of the sun was their warmth. The eye of the moon was their dream. They called the morning sun the eye of day, and the night sky the eye of night. To them, the heavens themselves were eyes watching, guiding, keeping the balance. In the far north, among the Norse, the god Odin gave one of his eyes, offering it to the well of wisdom. His sacrifice was vision beyond the ordinary. Though one eye was gone, he saw more than before. The lesson was simple. True sight is not in seeing many things, but in understanding their heart. So the sacred eye teaches gently. To be watched is not always to be judged. To be watched may also mean to be kept, to be cared for, to be safe beneath an unblinking gaze of love. Think of a parent watching over a child in sleep. Think of a shepherd watching the flock at night. The eye is not always power, it is presence. It is steady care. And so, tonight, as you drift deeper into rest, imagine the eye above you. It glows softly, like a lantern in the dark. It does not close, it does not fade. It simply stays, watching, keeping, blessing. Each breath you take is seen. Each beat of your heart is known. There is no need to hide, no need to fear. The eye looks on with calm. The eye looks on with peace. Far away, in deserts and mountains, pilgrims once prayed beneath this symbol. They asked for healing. They asked for safe passage. They asked for truth. And the eye was drawn upon their paths, marked upon their vessels, placed upon their homes. It was a reminder that the divine sees always, and in that seeing protects. In your dreams, you may carry such an amulet. A small blue glass eye, or a painted eye upon gold, or a glowing eye of fire upon the brow. Whatever form it takes, it is the same. The presence that watches, the presence that holds. And what of the inner eye? It too awakens now. Not the eyes of flesh, which close in sleep, but the eye of spirit, which opens in stillness. It does not show you shapes or colors. It shows you calm. It shows you unity. It shows you that nothing is apart. Nothing is forgotten. The inner eye rests at the center of your brow. It glows faintly like a soft star. As you breathe, it brightens. As you rest, it clears. Through this eye you see not outward, but inward. Through this eye you drift deeper into the eternal silence. The sacred eye holds three gifts: protection, vision, peace. Protection from all that may trouble. Vision that sees what is true. Peace that comes from being seen, known, and held. These gifts are not far. They are here now, soft as moonlight, gentle as the night wind. So let the sacred eye watch over you. Let it stand at the gate of your dreams, keeping them safe. Let it shine within you, bringing clarity to your spirit. And let it guide you to peace, as sure as the stars, as steady as the earth. The night deepens. The candle burns low. The silence grows wide. And the sacred eye remains. It does not sleep. It does not close. It keeps you through this night, through this dream, through this gentle passage. Rest now. The gaze is soft upon you. The vision holds you close. The sacred eye is open. It watches with love. It watches with care. It watches until dawn returns. Drift onward now. Rest as the stars return. The sacred eye will remain. Night falls again, quiet and slow. The sky is deep, the stars scattered like silver dust. A gentle wind moves across still waters, carrying the soft scent of salt and sea. Far away, waves kiss the shore in steady rhythm, a lullaby written by the ocean itself. And here, in the quiet, a spiral begins to appear. It is carved on a stone, worn smooth with time. It is etched on the surface of a shell, gleaming under the moonlight. It turns inward, then outward, a path that never truly ends. This is the spiral. Ancient, eternal, a symbol of the soul's own journey. Long ago, people stood by the ocean and watched the curling waves. They saw how the water turned again and again, spiraling toward the shore, spiraling back to the deep. To them, the spiral was the heartbeat of the sea, a pattern of life, of return and renewal. The Celts carved spirals upon their stones. In Newgrange, in Ireland's Green Hills, triple spirals were carved into tombs, spirals turning into spirals, like waves within waves. They believed the soul, too, moved in spirals, into the world, out of the world, and into the mystery again. The Maori of the far seas drew the koru, a spiral shaped like the unfolding fern. To them, it was new life, a fresh beginning, a movement that opens yet never breaks. The spiral, in every land, was the same whisper. All journeys flow inward, all journeys flow outward. Imagine holding a shell in your hand, a nautilus shell pale and shining. Its chambers are many, each one wider than the last, each one part of a perfect spiral. The shell grows with life, always outward, yet always in the same shape. It is balance, it is harmony, it is the spiral of being. Now imagine galaxies far above. Their arms stretch outward, swirling across the night sky. Stars are born in those spirals, and stars fade away in them too. The pattern is vast, yet the same as the shell in your hand. From the smallest curve of the sea's gift to the wide embrace of galaxies, the spiral repeats itself, in quiet, in wonder. To walk the spiral was once a sacred act. In old stone circles, spirals were carved upon the earth. Pilgrims would walk them slowly, turning inward, step by step. The inward walk was a journey to the soul, to silence, to the center. The outward walk was return, to the world, to the light, to the greater whole. The spiral was not a maze. It was not meant to confuse. It was a path of trust, of breathing deeper, of letting go. To walk it was to feel life itself. Always moving, always circling, always one. The ocean spiral carries you too. You drift upon its turning path. Inward you move toward the quiet center. Here lies calm. Here lies stillness, like the deep heart of the sea, where no storms reach, where silence is soft as velvet. Then outward again, you move with the tide. Here lies return. Here lies the wide embrace of the world, the stars, the sky, the endless expanse of all things, inward and outward, always balanced, always one. The Greeks spoke of the labyrinth, a spiral-like passage. To walk its winding turns was to meet the self, to face the inner mystery. The spiral is not straight, but truth seldom is. It curves gently, like the flight of a bird, like the ripple of a tide. It leads not in haste, but in patience. And so with each curve you learn not to hurry. You learn to breathe. You learn to trust that every turn is part of the whole. Even if you do not see the center, it is there. Even if you do not see the return, it is waiting. The spiral is also time itself. The ancients felt it so. Not a straight line, not a sudden end, but a rhythm, a cycle, a dance. Seasons spiral back again. The moon waxes, the moon wanes, then waxes again. All things circle, but never in the same place. Each return is deeper. Each return is wiser. Life, too, is this way. Moments repeat, but not as they were. Each turn carries memory, each step carries change. And so, the spiral teaches softly. There is no need to cling, there is no need to fear. What is lost returns, not as before, but as new, as whole. Close your eyes and drift deeper now. See the spiral before you, drawn in light upon the sand. The waves move around it, singing their endless song. You begin to step upon its path. Slowly, gently, one breath for each turn. Inward you walk, closer to stillness. The sound of the waves fades. The air grows calm. At the center, all is quiet. It is the heart of the spiral. It is the heart of you. Then outward again, the path unwinds. The waves return. The sky opens. The stars shine bright. The spiral does not end. It only flows. This symbol, found on tombs and stones, spoke of the soul's own journey. In death, the spiral curled inward toward mystery. In life, the spiral curled outward toward light. One path, two directions, always connected, always whole. And in sleep, too, you walk this spiral. Dreams carry you inward, to quiet visions, to gentle stillness. Then morning will carry you outward, back to light, back to life, back to the wide world. The spiral holds both. The spiral holds all. Listen now to the ocean. Its rhythm is steady, turning like the spiral. Each wave carries you inward, each wave carries you outward. There is no rush, only flow. There is no end, only return, like the shell, like the stars, like the breath you take. In, out, in, out. The spiral is always here. The night deepens. The sea is calm. The spiral glows softly in the sand. It calls you gently, but without demand. It is always waiting, always turning, always whole. Rest within it now. Let your spirit move with its curves. Inward to stillness, outward to peace, inward to the soul, outward to the stars. The spiral holds you.
The spiral keeps you.
The spiral carries you home. Now rest as the ocean breathes. Rest as the spiral turns. Rest as the stars return. The journey is gentle. The path is clear. The spiral never ends. Night has returned, soft and tender. The air is cool, as though the desert itself breathes a quiet sigh. The moon floats above, wrapped in a silver haze, and the stars shimmer faintly, as if they are old lamps carried by unseen hands. Somewhere a slow wind moves across the sand, smoothing every dune into gentle curves. You are standing before an ancient temple, its walls rising tall, its pillars carved with signs that seem to glow in the moonlight. Among these signs, one shape appears again and again. It is simple, yet it holds the weight of eternity, a cross but with a loop at its crown. The anchor, the key of life. It shines softly in stone and gold, a promise written across time. The Egyptians called it the breath of life. In the oldest carvings, gods hold it in their hands, offering it gently to kings and queens. They hold it to the lips of the living, as though placing a breath into their bodies. It was more than a sign. It was life itself, the gift that could never be taken away. Picture a pharaoh in the stillness of dawn. The horizon glows with the first fire of the sun. Priests chant low and steady, their voices like flowing water. And in the pharaoh's hand is the ankh, raised toward the rising light. To hold it was to touch the eternal, to stand between earth and heaven. The loop above was said to be the circle of the sun, a symbol of eternity. The cross beneath was the path of the mortal world, the horizon where land met sky. Together, loop and line formed balance, a union of the seen and unseen, the mortal and divine. It was harmony, captured in a single sign. You drift deeper into the temple. The walls glow with stories, painted in reds, blues, and gold. Gods walk along these walls. Isis, mother of magic, carries the ankh in her hand and offers it to her child. Ra, the sun god, holds it against the sky as though he breathes light into the day. Even Anubis, the guide of souls, presses it gently to the lips of the departed, a promise that death is not an end, but a doorway. The ankh was never only for kings. It was carved into amulets, worn by those who longed for protection. It was painted on tombs, whispering of immortality. And when the Nile rose, bringing life to the fields, the people believed it was the ankh itself, the cross of water and sky, breathing life into the land. Imagine the river now. The Nile flows wide and slow, its surface silver under the moon. On its banks, reeds sway in the night wind. The water carries the same rhythm as breath, inward, outward, like the spiral of the sea. The Ankh, too, was seen as breath. To hold it was to remember the air within you, soft and steady, always flowing, never ending. For the Egyptians, the breath of life was not just air. It was the essence of the soul. It was the spirit that moved through all things. The gods, in their kindness, offered it freely. Every dawn was proof of it. Every seed that broke the soil was proof of it. And every star that lingered in the night sky was proof of it too. The Ankh also carried balance. The loop was seen as feminine, the line below as masculine. Together they joined, not in conflict but in harmony. In this joining, life itself was born, so it was drawn in temples, etched on jewelry, painted on papyrus scrolls. Always it whispered the same truth. All life comes from balance. All growth comes from union. All eternity comes from the joining of opposites. You drift further into a quiet chamber of the temple. Here the air is cool, and a small lamp burns with steady flame. On the wall is painted a great scene. A god holds the Ankh before a kneeling figure. The figure bows, and the god presses the symbol to their lips. And though the painting is silent, you can almost hear the words, "Breathe and live forever." The Ankh is not a key of stone or gold. It does not unlock doors you can touch. It is the key to breath, to balance, to the eternal rhythm of existence. It opens the door of the soul, the door of the heart, the door of life itself. Think now of your own breath. It moves as softly as the river. It flows in and flows out, like the Nile, like the wind, like the eternal spiral of the shell. This is your Ankh. This is your key of life. Each breath is a gift, a thread that ties you to the eternal. The ancients believed the gods placed it in their care, but tonight you can feel it too. The Ankh rests within you, in the quiet rise and fall of your chest, in the slow rhythm of your breath. It is your crown, your shield, your promise. There were times when the Ankh was carved upon tombs, not to mark an end, but to remind of beginnings. The departed did not vanish. They stepped through a doorway, guided by the symbol in the god's hand. Through the Ankh, they were given breath again, not of this world, but of the eternal. So too does sleep come like this. Not an end, but a doorway. Not silence, but a passage. The breath carries you through it gently, without fear. And the Ankh glows softly above the door, a promise of peace. Far above the temple, the stars still shine. They too form a cross, their lines meeting in patterns that the priests once traced. Everywhere the key of life appears. In stone, in water, in breath, in stars. It is the eternal pattern, quiet and unbroken. Now the temple fades. The Nile grows distant. Only the Ankh remains, floating softly in the air before you. It glows like moonlight, its loop a gentle halo, its line steady and sure. It does not ask you to hold it. It is already within you. It is already yours. The night deepens. The stars lean closer. The desert wind is calm. The key of life hovers still, its glow soft as a candle. And as your breath slows, you feel its promise more deeply. Life is not lost. Life is only carried inward, outward, like the tide, like the spiral, like the eternal key. Let the Ankh rest within you now. Let it open the door to peace. The gods whisper softly, "You are held. You are eternal. You are safe." And with those words, the night carries you gently onward. Your breath is the key. Your spirit is the light. Your rest is eternal. Now drift as the Ankh glows faint. Drift as the Nile returns to silence. Drift as the stars lean closer. The key of life is yours forever and forever again. Now rest as the stars return. Rest as the key of life shines quietly within you. Rest as the eternal breath carries you into dreams. The night is still. The stars rest gently above the quiet waters. A silver moon hangs low, its reflection trembling upon a calm pond. In the hush of this moment, something stirs beneath the surface. A bud lies waiting, closed and hidden in the deep. Softly, slowly, it begins to rise. Like a dream, lifting through layers of sleep, the lotus moves upward. Its stem reaches from the mud, stretching past the shadowed depths, finding the surface where air and light are born. The water parts calm and patient as the flower ascends. The journey is quiet, yet every inch is sacred. You drift with it. As though your soul is tied to the stem, you rise too. From the heavy silence below, you float toward brightness. The mud is left behind, yet it is not denied, for even the richest flower begins in darkness. In Egypt, the lotus was a sign of creation. They told how, in the first dawn, a single blossom rose from the endless waters of the beginning. It opened its golden heart, and from it came the sun itself, shining for the very first time. The people looked upon this flower and saw the promise of renewal. Night would end. The light would always return. The lotus became the breath of eternity. In temples along the Nile, carvings showed God seated upon lotus thrones. The petals curled beneath them like soft cushions of light. Priests sang by candle glow, their voices like ripples in still water, praising the flower that never ceased to bloom. They placed lotus crowns upon the heads of kings, whispering of life beyond death, of mornings that would always follow nights. Far to the east, in India, the lotus also bloomed in story. It was said that the great god Vishnu floated upon the cosmic ocean, and from his navel grew a lotus. From that blossom arose Brahma, the creator of worlds. In this tale, the lotus was the bridge between the infinite waters and the birth of form. It was a soft ladder between nothingness and everything. The sages saw in the lotus the path of the spirit. A soul, like a flower, may begin in mud and shadow, yet it does not stay there. It rises inch by inch toward clarity. Its petals open only when they meet the light. The heart of the lotus is the heart of awakening. Buddha, too, was said to have walked upon lotuses. At his birth, legend told, 7 lotus flowers sprang beneath his tiny feet with every step. They were signs that his journey would be one of purity, untouched by the mire of the world. And when he spoke of awakening, he compared the mind to a lotus. Its beauty does not deny the mud. It blooms because of it. Without the dark soil, the flower could not live. So too does the soul bloom, not by escaping hardship, but by rising through it. The mud becomes the quiet teacher. The water becomes the slow guide. The flower becomes the radiant truth. Imagine now, the lotus in the pond before you. Its petals slowly unfurl. Each fold loosens like the breath of dawn. Soft pink and white open against the cool night air. The center glows faintly as though it remembers the sun. It has been waiting, patient and still, for this gentle moment. You feel your spirit resting on those petals. Each layer is a safe place, a cradle of calm. The petals close around you, not as walls, but as wings. They shield you from the noise of the world. Within them, you rest in perfect quiet. The flower floats upon the pond, untouched by the dark beneath. It does not sink. It does not hurry. It simply rests where it is meant to be, and so do you. In ancient hymns, the lotus was called the thousand-petaled bloom. Each petal was a gate, a step, a breath leading inward. At the heart of the lotus was the secret of the soul, endless and bright. Some said that heaven itself unfolded like a lotus, layer upon layer, petal upon petal, forever opening, forever revealing. The spiral of life was found in its shape, the circle of death and rebirth hidden in its cycle. The flower closes each night, sinking back toward the water. But in the morning, it opens again. It is a gentle promise. Even when darkness folds us in, the light will come again. The Egyptians placed lotus flowers in tombs. They believed the soul would rise as the flower does, breaking through the night into eternal day. The Indian poets sang of the heart as a lotus, closed at birth, opening slowly through each stage of life. The Buddhists spoke of the lotus as the emblem of enlightenment, the bloom of compassion, pure and still. Different lands, different tongues, yet the same vision, the same gentle truth. The flower that rises from the mud is not stained. It does not carry the shadow upon its petals. It is born clean, luminous, serene. So too may the soul rise, carrying only light, leaving sorrow behind like silt. The pond before you glimmers. The moon brushes the petals with silver. Frogs hum softly from the reeds. The air is cool and calm, filled with the faint scent of water plants and earth. The lotus rests at the center, open and still. Its reflection ripples faintly, as though the pond itself breathes. You float nearer, and as you do, the flower seems to grow. Its petals become great arches. Its heart becomes a temple. You step softly inside. There is no sound, only silence. No weight, only peace. Within the lotus there is only light. It is warm, yet gentle, like the first breath of dawn on closed eyes. The light holds you. It does not ask. It does not press. It simply is. You drift deeper into this glow. Each breath becomes slower, softer. Each thought folds away, like a petal returning to rest. There is no need for effort. The lotus holds you. just as the water holds the flower. The sages once said, "Be like the lotus. Rest upon the waters, touch the mud, yet remain unstained. Rise always toward the light." The words linger in the still air. They become a soft song, carried by the wind. They are not a command, but a blessing, not a burden, but a comfort. The flower remains, floating, timeless. It will rise tomorrow, and the day after still. Its petals will open. Its petals will close. Its cycle will never end. You breathe with it now, petal by petal, breath by breath, opening, closing, rising, resting. Each rhythm carries you further into calm. The mud below has no claim on you. The shadows sink away, forgotten. Only the still water remains, only the silver moon, only the lotus blooming in endless peace. Let yourself drift with it. Let yourself float upon its petals, safe, pure, unshaken. Like the flower you are held, like the flower you are rising. Now rest as the petals fold in silence. Now dream as the lotus blooms within you. Let us drift onward, into quiet, into peace, into light. The night is quiet. The stars glow like scattered pearls upon the velvet sky. A cool breeze drifts across the darkened fields, carrying with it the soft scent of earth and distant rain. In this calm, a white dove lifts from the shadows. Its wings move slowly, gently, as though the air itself carries it upward. The sound is faint, like the hush of cloth against still water. The bird glides across the moon's reflection. Each feather catches the light, silver and soft. It does not hurry. It does not falter. It moves as though it knows no weight. The dove is the breath of peace given form. You follow its flight, your spirit carried on its wings. There is no struggle, no need for effort. You float, guided by the rhythm of its gentle beating. The earth below fades into mist. The sky becomes wide, open, endless. And within that endlessness, the dove flies on. Since ancient days, this bird has been seen as a sign. The people of old watched it rise into the sky and felt hope in its whiteness. They saw in it the quiet of still mornings, the tenderness of the first light. They whispered that the dove carried messages from the divine, not with thunder, not with fire, but with a softness that eased the heart. In the stories of the desert, a dove carried the sign of peace. After the great waters receded, the bird returned with an olive branch, green and living. It told of dry land, of life reborn. The dove was the promise that the storm had ended. The floods would not last forever. The world once broken would heal again. So the dove became the emblem of safety. Where it flew, the heart could rest. Where it landed, peace would soon follow. In Greece, the dove was sacred to Aphrodite. It circled her temples, white wings glimmering against marble stone. The people believed it was a sign of love, pure and enduring. Gentle as a kiss, tender as the touch of calm waters, the dove spoke of bonds that were never broken. It was a reminder that love, like flight, is not held by chains. It rises, it soars, it gives itself freely to the open air. In Egypt, the dove sang in palm groves and gardens. Its cooing was thought to carry blessings, a lullaby from the gods themselves. In their soft song, the living found rest. The dead were believed to find safe passage. The dove's voice was a thread between realms, weaving this life to the next. And in the faiths of the East and West, the dove became a vessel of spirit. Its descent was seen as a blessing, a breath of the eternal carried upon white wings. It was not fierce like an eagle, not loud like a raven. Its strength was in its gentleness. Its message was in its silence. The dove told the world, peace is greater than war. Softness is stronger than hardness. Silence speaks more deeply than the clash of noise. Imagine now, the dove circling slowly above the still pond. Its wings glimmer against the dark water. With each turn, the ripples spread outward, soft rings of light expanding into the quiet. The bird hovers, then settles upon a branch above. Its head tilts, eyes shining, unafraid. In its presence, the night feels safer. The air grows calm. The pond itself seems to sleep. You feel this peace within your own chest. Your breath slows, like the cooing of the dove. Your heart rests, as though lulled by unseen hands. The bird carries not only peace in the world outside, but peace within. Wherever the dove flies, harmony blooms. Wherever you drift, calm follows. The dove has always carried hope. When the storms of life pass, when the waters rise and fall, it is the dove that returns with the branch. It tells you that the floods cannot last forever. Every storm ends. Every shadow passes. Every night gives way to dawn, and so the dove's flight becomes your own. Not a flight of power, not a flight of force, but a flight of gentle trust. A trust that the air will hold you. A trust that the light will return. A trust that the spirit always rises, no matter how deep the waters fall. Some say the dove carries prayers upon its wings, that when it rises into the sky, it bears the whispers of the heart upward, delivering them to the unseen. In its flight, your quiet hopes are lifted. They do not vanish. They do not fall. They are carried safely, softly, like a child in the arms of love. Others say the dove is the soul itself. When the body rests in the earth, the spirit takes form as a white bird. It rises into the skies, gliding toward a horizon no eye can see. Free, weightless, unburdened, it moves forever into peace. So gentle, so pure, that even death cannot stain its wings. The dove circles once more in the night sky. Its wings beat slowly, steadily, like a heartbeat at rest. Each motion spreads calm through the air. Each breath you take follows its rhythm. Soft inhale, soft exhale. Like the bird, you are weightless. Like the bird, you are safe. It moves higher now, climbing toward the stars. Yet it does not disappear. It becomes part of the sky itself. Its whiteness blends with the moonlight. Its silence becomes the silence of the night. Still, you feel it near. Still, you know it flies above you. Long ago, people carved doves into stone, painted them on walls, wove them into cloth. They wished to keep its peace near them, to call upon it in moments of fear, to hold it close when the storms grew loud. For the dove was not only a bird, it was a promise that calm is always possible, a promise that peace will return, a promise that love never fades. Now let the dove's wings fold around you like a cloak. Soft feathers, light as whispers, settle across your shoulders. They shield you from the weight of the world. They carry you into a deeper calm. Here there is no struggle. Here there is no fear. Here there is only stillness and the sound of wings in the night. Breathe with the dove. Rest with the dove. Let its peace become your own. You are floating, carried. You are safe, enfolded. You are rising, though you need not move at all. The night drifts on. The stars shimmer faintly. The moon glides across the sky, slow as a dream, and still, the dove flies, not bound by time, not caught by shadow. It circles forever, a keeper of quiet, a guardian of peace. Now rest, as the dove settles in your heart. Now dream as its wings fold softly around your spirit. Let us drift onward, into silence, into stillness, into peace. Night falls slowly. The air grows cool, still, hushed. Above, the stars gather, scattered like sparks upon a dark cloak. Far in the distance, a mountain rises, its shape vast and quiet. Its peak touches the sky, yet its base is rooted deep in the earth. It does not move, it does not bend. It waits, as it has always waited, silent, eternal, unshaken. The mountain is more than stone. It is a bridge. It is where the earth reaches upward, and the heavens lean down. It is the still pillar where spirit and soil meet. And as you gaze upon its dark outline, you feel the weight of ages resting upon its slopes. The mountain is old, older than temples, older than stories. It has stood through storms, through suns, through the quiet turn of countless nights. Ancient people looked to the mountains and saw holiness. They saw a stairway carved, not by hands, but by time. A place where the air grew thin, where silence grew deep, where the heart felt closer to the sky. To climb a mountain was not only to rise in height, but to rise in spirit. Each step upward was a step inward. Each stone was a prayer. Each breath was a hymn. In deserts, mountains stood alone, their shadows long against the sand. In green lands, they lifted through mists and forests crowned with snow that gleamed in the sun. No matter the place, they were seen as sacred. Silent temples not built, but born. Stories grew from these sacred peaks. On Sinai, a prophet climbed to speak with the divine. The mountain trembled with thunder, wrapped in clouds. At its summit, words were given like fire etched into stone. The people below watched in awe, their eyes lifted to the trembling height. For there, on the mountain, earth touched eternity. On Olympus the gods were said to dwell. High above mortal lands they lived in halls of light. From their thrones, they looked across seas and fields, guiding the world below. The mountain itself became a home of divinity, hidden in mist, unreachable, eternal. In the east, mountains rose as guardians of balance. Sacred peaks were honored as places where heaven and earth embraced. Temples were carved into their sides, and pilgrims walked the winding paths. Each stone step led not just upward, but inward toward awakening. The mountain is a teacher of stillness. It does not rush. It does not seek. It simply stands. Its silence is its wisdom. Its strength is its calm. Though storms rage around it, though winds tear across its slopes, the mountain remains. And in its stillness, you find your own. Imagine now that you drift at the mountain's base. The night is deep. The air cools against your skin. Above, the peak glimmers faintly beneath the starlight. You take a slow breath. The mountain breathes with you. Each inhale is its rising slopes. Each exhale is its long, steady shadow. You feel its weight, its calm, its endless patience. Long ago, people brought offerings to the mountain. Simple gifts, stones, flowers, food. They placed them upon its slopes, believing the mountain carried them upward, closer to the sky. To give to the mountain was to give to the heavens. To kneel at its base was to kneel before something beyond oneself. Its presence reminded them of their smallness, and yet of their connection to something vast. The mountain does not need offerings. It asks for nothing, yet it receives them, holds them, and keeps them, as it keeps all things, every leaf that falls upon its slopes, every drop of rain, every step of pilgrim feet. The mountain remembers. Close your eyes and feel yourself walking the path upward. The trail is quiet, winding gently. Your feet touch stone that has felt countless footsteps before yours. The air thins as you rise, carrying the scent of pine, the coolness of snow. Birdsong fades, winds hush, and silence grows wide around you. It is not an empty silence. It is a living silence. It fills you with calm. With each step you feel lighter. The weight of worry drifts from your shoulders. The mountain takes it, holds it deep within its vastness. You climb higher, and the stars grow nearer. The world below feels distant, softened. Time itself feels slower. In many lands, mountains were believed to hold spirits, guardians who watched over valleys, rivers, and villages. Some were gentle, bringing rain for crops. Some were fierce, keeping their secrets behind storms and mists. But all were honored, all were revered. For people knew, mountains carry the breath of gods. They are not only stone, they are living temples. The people listen to their silence. They look to their peaks as guides. Even today, their shadows stretch across stories, across hearts. The mountain is both journey and rest. To climb it is to seek. To stand before it is to find. It teaches that there is strength in stillness, holiness in silence, eternity in patience. And as you rest now, you feel that same truth in your own body. Your breath slows. Your thoughts quiet. Like the mountain, you are still. Like the mountain, you are steady. Like the mountain, you are at peace. Above, the stars shimmer more brightly. The peak seems to touch them, a bridge of stone meeting the light. The mountain holds both earth and sky. It holds both shadow and fire. It holds both silence and the whisper of eternity, and you, too, hold these within you. the earth of your body, the sky of your spirit, the silence of your heart, the light of your breath. You are the mountain, strong, quiet, endless. The night deepens, the air grows cooler, the stars slowly turn in their wide circles. The mountain remains, unmoving, watching. It has seen ages pass, it has seen rivers carve valleys, winds move forests, storms rise and fade. It will see countless more. Through it all it stands, steady, eternal. Let that eternity rest within you. Let its stillness soften your heart. Let its silence guide your breath. Now the mountain fades into dream. Its peak drifts into mist. Its slopes dissolve into stars. But its strength stays with you. Its calm stays with you. Its silence stays with you. Now rest as the mountain rests. Now breathe as the mountain breathes. Let us drift onward, into stillness, into silence, into peace. Night has fallen once more. The air is heavy with stillness, like a soft blanket drawn across the earth. Above, the stars linger quietly, their glow scattered across the endless sky. Some shimmer faintly like distant candles. Others burn with a deeper, steadier flame. Beneath their watch, the land sleeps, and in this deep silence, a story rises. It comes like a whisper carried on the wind. It is an old story, shaped by stone and fire, by longing and desire. It is the story of the calf of gold. In many lands, the bull was honored. It was strong, heavy with life. It tilled the soil, carried burdens, guarded the herd. Its breath was like steam rising in the morning chill. Its body shone with power, muscle rippling beneath the hide. People saw in the bull a mirror of the earth itself, fertile, steady, enduring. So they carved its image in stone. They shaped it from clay. They lifted it in wood and in precious metal. For to them, the bull was more than an animal. It was the spirit of strength. It was the guardian of fields, the keeper of harvests, the giver of life. In ancient temples, bulls were laid in paint upon walls. In sacred grounds, their forms were carved upon pillars, and when people gathered in ritual, they sang to its spirit, seeking its blessing. It was feared, it was adored, it was never forgotten. But there is another side to the story of the bull, one that speaks of temptation, of longing for what is seen rather than what is unseen, of holding fast to what glitters instead of trusting what is hidden. Long ago, when a people wandered in the wilderness, they grew restless. Their hearts ached for certainty. Their eyes longed for a sign they could see, touch, and hold. So they took the gold they carried. They melted it in fire, and from the fire, they shaped a calf of shining gold. Its form glowed beneath the desert sun. Its face was smooth, its body gleamed, and they bowed before it. The calf was not only gold.
It was their longing made visible.
It was their fear given shape. It was their desire for strength, for safety, for something they could see. And so they lifted it high and placed their trust upon its shining form. The golden calf has remained in story through ages, not simply as an idol of metal, but as a mirror of the heart. It shows the pull toward the visible, the glittering, the earthly. It reminds us how easily the mind turns toward what glows before the eyes, rather than what rests in silence. Yet the calf is not only temptation, it is also a teacher. It shows us the choice between shadow and light, between surface and depth, between the strength that passes and the strength that endures. Imagine now a great fire in the wilderness. The flames leap golden against the dark. Within the fire, molten metal swirls and melts, glowing like the sun itself. The air shimmers, heavy with heat. From the fire, the calf is lifted, shining, radiant. Its smooth body catches the firelight, casting long shadows across the sand. The people gather. They sing, they dance, their voices rising with drums. The desert echoes with their celebration. They are caught in the spell of what shines. Their hearts beat fast, their feet stamp the ground, their voices climb into the night, and above them, the stars remain quiet. They do not flicker, they do not waver. They shine with a light that does not fade, though few look upward to see them. The bull has always been a symbol of life's power. It is both gift and trial. It is the force that can nurture or the force that can tempt. It can guide the soil to bloom, or it can bind the spirit to shadow. It holds both earth and fire. In Egypt, the bull was sacred, called Apis. It was honored as a living god, a bridge between men and the divine. In Canaan, the bull was linked to the sky, to storms and rain, to the power that made fields grow. In Crete, it leapt in dance and ritual, woven into myths of labyrinths and kings. Always the bull returned. Always its image stood, a reminder of strength, of fertility, of power. but also a reminder of how easily power can be lifted above the spirit. As you drift now, imagine yourself standing before the golden calf. It gleams softly in the firelight. It is beautiful, bright, impossible to ignore. But as you gaze longer, you see the hollowness within it. It does not breathe. It does not hear. It does not move. It is only gold, only shadow, only the echo of something deeper. Behind it, the stars whisper. Beyond it, the mountains rise. Within you, a gentler light stirs, a light that does not need gold to shine, a light that has always been there, quiet, steady, waiting. The golden calf is not a mistake to condemn. It is a story to remember. It tells of how the heart searches for form, how it clings to what can be touched. It shows the longing for presence, the fear of absence, and it teaches that true presence is not always seen, not always carved, not always golden. It is within breath, within silence, within the unseen strength that carries the soul. The bull, as symbol, remains both guardian and warning. It is the harvest in the field, the plow in the soil, the storm in the sky. It is also the temptation to cling too tightly to the visible, to bow before what glitters, forgetting what glows quietly beyond. And so the story rests in balance. The bull is life, but the calf of gold is longing misplaced. One nurtures, one tempts, both remind. Let your heart now rest in this ancient story. Feel the fire fade, the music soften, the voices fall quiet. The calf of gold dims, its glow retreating back into shadow. What remains is not the glitter of metal, but the calm of stars above. Their light is steady, unbroken, older than gold, older than fire. Their glow falls gently upon you, like a blessing, like a lullaby. And so you breathe, slowly, softly. The calf fades from sight. The stars remain. Your breath is the silence between them. Your spirit is the light within them. Now the story closes. The fire is ash. The voices are gone. The desert lies still, cool beneath the starlight. And you rest, held in quiet peace. Let us drift onward, past the calf of gold, past the fire's glow into the silence of the stars. Now rest as the night deepens. Now breathe as the earth steadies. Now sleep as the story folds itself into dream. Night gathers like a soft cloak. The stars shimmer faintly, scattered across the quiet heavens. The air is cool, and a hush rests on the land, as though even the trees are holding their breath. In this stillness, a sound rises. It is the sound of water, a gentle flow, a slow current moving steadily onward. It is the sound of a river, not only of earth, but of spirit, a river of souls. For as long as people have dreamed, rivers have carried meaning. They were more than water. They were thresholds. They were passages. They were bridges between what was and what will be. In the lands of Greece, the river was called Styx. It wound its way through the underworld, dark and eternal. It was said that every soul would one day come to its banks. There a ferryman waited, quiet and patient. He carried the departed across its waters, one by one. The river marked the line between the world of the living and the world of the dead. Its flow was the silence of parting, the breath between two realms. In Egypt, too, the river spoke of thresholds. The Nile gave life, pouring water into dry earth, carrying silt, feeding crops. But it was also a mirror of the great journey after death. To cross the river was to move toward the realm of Osiris, the green god, the lord of the afterlife. The water was a path, a road of spirits, a gentle tide that carried the soul into eternity. In many lands, rivers stood as silent borders. The Ganges in India, sacred and pure, carried sins away like fallen leaves. The Jordan in Israel marked the crossing into promise, into a land of rest. Always, rivers were more than streams of water. They were passages of spirit. They were thresholds of time. Listen now. The water flows softly in the dark. You drift beside it, your steps slow, your breath deep. The moonlight rests on the surface, breaking into silver ripples. The current moves without hurry. It does not stop. It does not falter. It carries onward, always onward, and in its sound there is comfort. The river asks for nothing. It does not demand. It only flows. It carries stones and branches, leaves and soil, as it carries memories and prayers. It carries life, and it carries the promise of return. Imagine now the Greek ferryman. He waits by his wooden boat. The oar rests in his hand. His face is quiet, neither cruel nor kind. He does not hurry the souls. He does not call. He waits. Each spirit steps onto the boat. The wood creaks softly. The river sighs. The boat slides across the water, gliding through the mist. The living cannot follow. Only the departed may cross. And so the Styx becomes not only a river, but a breath held between two worlds. Now drift to Egypt, where the Nile spreads wide under the sun. Its waters glitter like gold in daylight. Its surface is alive with birds, reeds, and the play of fish. But when the journey of life ends, the Nile becomes something more, a symbol of rebirth, a passage into the realm beyond. Boats carved with painted eyes carried the dead upon the river, guiding them toward the west where the sun sets, the west where the afterlife was believed to open. The Nile was not only water, but the very breath of eternity. To float upon it was to drift toward forever. Every river tells the same truth. It moves forward. It does not turn back. Its waters carry the soul onward as time carries the body, as dreams carry the mind. To step into a river is to step into passage, and in that passage there is both mystery and peace. Now close your eyes to the river's sound. Hear the lap of water against stone. Hear the murmur of currents beneath the surface. It is steady, endless, a lullaby written by time itself. In some stories, the river of souls is dark, shadowed, filled with mist. In others, it glitters with light, like silver beneath the stars. In some, it is wide, carrying boats and great vessels. In others, it is narrow, like a small stream, crossed only by the Spirit's breath. But always it leads onward. Always it carries into another place. You stand now at the edge of the river. The air is still. The water flows gently at your feet. You feel no fear, only calm. For the river is not an ending. It is a beginning wrapped in silence. It is the promise of a journey. The stars above reflect in the water. Each ripple holds their light. Each wave is a mirror of the heavens. And as the river flows, the stars seem to flow with it, as though heaven itself were being carried onward. In the quiet of this river, the soul is not lost. It is guided. It is carried. It is held by waters that know the way, that do not stumble, that never forget their course. Some say the river flows back to its source, like the soul returning to its origin. Others say it flows endlessly onward, into lands unseen, into realms of dream. But whether circle or line, whether return or passage, the river is always faithful. It never lets go. It always carries. Let the sound of water fill you now. Let it move through you like breath. Slow, calm, endless. Your thoughts rest upon its surface, like fallen leaves. One by one, the current gathers them. One by one, it carries them away. You do not need to hold them. You do not need to follow them. The river will take them where they belong. And so the story of the River of Souls is not a story of fear. It is a story of passage. It is the sound of movement, gentle and sure. It is the truth that nothing is still forever, that all flows onward, that all returns in time. Now the river dims. The stars above grow softer. The night folds itself like a cloak. The water continues, but its sound grows faint, like a lullaby fading into silence. You stand upon the shore no longer. You drift now in dream. The river flows beneath you, carrying you gently onward. The stars watch above, ancient and calm. The night holds you, quiet and safe. Let us drift onward, past the banks of Styx, past the golden Nile, into the silence of the eternal stream. Now rest, as the waters carry you. Now sleep, as the river of souls holds you in its gentle flow. The night is quiet. Soft winds move like whispers over the earth. Stars shimmer gently above, their light scattered like dust from an ancient fire. In this stillness, the story begins. A story not of one person, but of many. A story shaped not by a single voice, but by many voices, rising and falling together as hands join, and a circle is born. In the heart of the old world, before cities grew tall and lights burned bright, people gathered under the open sky. There was no wall to separate them, only the earth beneath their feet, and the stars that watched from above. At night, when the fires were lit, men and women stood side by side. They reached for one another, hand to hand, palm to palm, fingers curled softly, resting in the comfort of touch. And in that simple act, a circle was drawn. The circle had no beginning, and it had no end. It was a shape of eternity, a shape that mirrored the moon above, round and glowing, a shape that mirrored the sun by day, whole and radiant. The circle spoke without words. You are not alone. You are part of something larger. You belong. In Greece, long ago, they danced in circles to honor the gods. To Dionysus, the god of wine and joy, people moved in flowing rings. Their steps were small, their songs soft, and yet the circle carried them away into a space between the human and the divine. The circle was their prayer. Their bodies, joined together, were the temple itself. In Egypt, too, the circle lived. The sun god Ra was painted in a golden orb. The priests raised their hands in arcs as though to trace his path across the sky. At festivals, children and elders alike formed rings around sacred fires. Each hand resting in another, they became the mirror of the sun, a circle of life, a circle of renewal. And in many places across the wide earth, from desert to forest, from mountain to plain, the circle of hands was the same, a quiet truth carried in many tongues, yet always the same shape. Picture it now, a field at twilight. The grass bends softly with the wind. The first stars appear above, pale against the fading sky. A group of people gather, their faces calm, their eyes warm. They take one another's hands. The circle begins. No one stands ahead. No one stands behind. Each is equal. Each is part of the whole. They begin to move, slowly, gently, their feet brushing the earth. The rhythm is soft like a heartbeat. Step by step, breath by breath, they circle the fire. Their shadows join, weaving across the ground. Their voices hum in low tones, not words, only sound. Sound like the flow of water. Sound like the hush of the trees. The circle breathes. The circle lives. In the north, among ancient tribes, circles were drawn for protection. A ring of stones marked the sacred space. Inside, the people gathered, holding hands, calling upon the spirits of earth, air, fire, and water. They knew that alone a person could falter, but hand in hand they formed a shield, a gentle wall, not to keep the world out, but to keep their unity strong. Among the Celts, circles were carved into stone. Spirals and rings told the story of endlessness. Their dances were quiet prayers, their circles a promise. Life turns, death turns, and always it returns again. Even now, across time, you can imagine the circle. You can see the faces, half lit by fire, half lit by starlight. You can feel the warmth of hands in your own. Not too tight, not too loose. A gentle, steady bond. The touch says, I see you. You are safe. You are part of this dance. The circle was not only in dance, it was in the way people prayed, in the way they sat in council, passing stories from one to another. When elders taught the young, they gathered in a ring. When food was shared, it was passed hand to hand around the circle. No one was left outside. Every voice could be heard. Every soul had a place. And when sorrow came, when someone left the earth for the quiet beyond, the circle was drawn again. Hands linked around the grieving. Hands linked around the memory. Together, they whispered songs. Together, they held silence. The circle cradled the loss and carried it gently to the stars. The circle is more than shape. It is rhythm. It is the rise and fall of breath, the beat of the drum, the pulse of the heart. Round and round, always returning, no edge, no corner, only flow. And so, in the circle of hands, people remembered what the river remembers, what the stars remember, that all things are connected, that all things return, that no one walks the path alone. Now let yourself imagine you are among them. The night is soft, the fire is glowing, hands reach for you, welcoming, kind. You step into the ring. You feel the warmth of touch, the comfort of belonging. Your breath slows. Your heart finds the rhythm. Step by step, you move with them. The circle carries you as the tide carries a leaf, as the wind carries a feather. You need not lead. You need not follow. You are simply held. You are simply part of the whole. In far lands, where words are different, the circle still speaks the same language. It says, "Come close. Do not be alone. We are stronger together. We are softer together." Even now, in quiet villages, in sacred halls, in open fields, people still gather. They still hold hands. They still dance. The old rhythm has not vanished. It only waits. It waits in memory, in tradition, in the gentle act of reaching out a hand. The circle of hands is not bound by time. It belongs to every people, every land. It belongs to you as well. Close your eyes. and you can step into it. Close your eyes, and you can feel the warmth. It asks for nothing more than your presence. It gives you everything: a sense of place, a sense of peace. Now the fire burns lower, the voices grow softer, the circle slows, step by step, until it is still. The hands remain joined. No one lets go. They simply rest. The stars watch quietly. The earth holds them close. The circle breathes in silence, and so the night deepens. The circle does not end. It only drifts, like a dream, into stillness. Let your breath follow its rhythm, slow, round, gentle. Let your thoughts move like the dancers, not hurried, not heavy, but drifting, soft as smoke in the night air. Now rest as the circle holds you. Now rest as the stars return. Let us drift. Onward, hand in hand, into the quiet beyond. The night lies soft upon the earth. Above, the stars are patient, watching, glowing, their light older than memory. A hush covers the land, like a great cloak of stillness. And in that stillness, a story begins to rise, like the first warmth of dawn. It is the story of the winged sun, a circle of light carried on wings, stretching wide, protecting, promising, lifting the soul beyond time. In temples of stone, along walls carved by careful hands, the symbol shone. A golden sun, circle of eternity, guarded by wings. Sometimes the wings curve gently, like arms drawing close. Sometimes they spread wide, like a bird rising high in the sky. Always, the meaning was clear. The light of the sun was not alone. It was shielded, it was guided, it was carried. The people looked upon it and felt peace, for the winged sun told them that light would not vanish. Even when night stretched across the desert, even when shadows filled the land, the sun would be lifted once more. It would return, always return, held safe by wings unseen. In Egypt, where the river curled like a serpent of silver, the symbol was sacred. The sun itself was Ra, the great giver of life, and the wings belonged to Horus, the falcon of the sky. Together they told a truth: the light of heaven is guarded, and the people of earth are sheltered beneath it. Imagine the temple gates, tall and heavy, warmed by the desert sun. Above them, carved in stone, the winged sun spread wide. Every traveler, every pilgrim who passed below, was touched by its promise. You walk in safety, you walk beneath divine protection. The wings carried more than light. They carried memory. They carried hope. To the Egyptians, the wings spoke of eternity. Not only the eternity of the sun, rising and setting each day, but the eternity of the soul, carried gently to the lands beyond. Just as the sun was lifted through the sky, so too would the spirit be lifted, guided, guarded. In Persia, another form was carved. The Faravahar, a figure with wings outstretched, the circle of eternity beneath. It too was the sun with wings, a symbol of the soul's journey. Each feather in its span whispered of choices, of the path one must walk. Above palaces, above fire temples, it watched. A guardian, a reminder, a promise of light. And beyond Egypt and Persia, the symbol still flew. Among the Hittites, the sun rose upon wings. Among the Assyrians, carving shone with feathered circles. Even in later lands, the winged sun returned, echoing in Christian mosaics, glimmering in hidden manuscripts. Always the same truth. The light of heaven does not fall alone. It is carried, it is shielded, it is eternal. Now imagine the sun itself, resting on a vast horizon. The desert is silent, save for a single breeze, moving warm across the sand. The circle of gold begins to rise, slow, calm, endless. As it climbs, wings spread from its sides, feathers soft, yet strong as stone. The wings stretch across the world, touching mountain and river, touching city and plain. They brush the sky, they brush the heart. You stand beneath them, and you feel their shelter. It is not only a picture, it is a feeling. It says, you are not alone in the light. You are not alone in the dark. The wings are always there, carrying what is most fragile, guarding what is most sacred. In the temples of Karnak, priests walked beneath the symbol. They chanted softly, their voices like wind through reeds. They burned incense, its smoke curling upward as though joining the feathers of the sun. Every prayer was wrapped in those wings. Every offering was sheltered. And the people believed that as long as the winged sun watched, they would endure. The wings were not of a single bird, sometimes falcon, sometimes vulture, sometimes eagle. Each bird carried its own power, its own blessing. The falcon soared high, sharp-eyed, swift, a symbol of vision. The vulture circled patiently, guardian of life and death, protector of what must be kept safe. The eagle spread wide, majestic, strong, king of the open sky. Yet always the wings bore the sun, lifting it beyond the reach of shadow. Picture for a moment your own spirit as the sun, a circle of light, quiet, steady, whole. Around it, wings unfold. They are vast, far greater than you imagined. They carry you without effort. Their feathers brush softly against the winds of time. You are lifted, slowly, gently, beyond the noise of the earth. You float in calm air, shielded, serene. The wings whisper, "Rest, be at peace." You are held. You are safe. This symbol was more than art. It was a map for the heart. It taught that light cannot be kept alone. It must be guarded, and it must be shared. It taught that every soul, no matter how fragile, is carried by something greater. It taught that the journey of the spirit is not a fall into dark, but a flight into eternity. The winged sun shines still. It glows in hidden carvings, in quiet museums, in ancient ruins touched by sand and time. But it also glows in memory, in story, in symbol. Its message does not fade. The wings still open, and the circle of light still rests between them. Look within yourself, and you may see it too. The warmth of light at your center, the shelter of wings all around. You may feel it now as you drift in stillness. A calm that folds around you. A quiet that holds you close. A promise that carries you onward, softly, gently, into the dream beyond. The night deepens. The fire of the sun has set, yet its memory glows. The wings spread across the heavens, feathers of shadow and starlight. They guard the earth in silence. They cradle the world as it sleeps. Let your thoughts grow soft. Let your breath grow slow. Imagine the wings folding around you, curved in kindness, curved in care. You are safe in their shelter. You are lifted in their flight. Now rest, as the winged sun drifts across eternity. Now rest, as the stars return. Let us drift onward, on wings of light, into the quiet beyond. The night is quiet. The stars rest above like lanterns left in the dark sky. A faint wind drifts through unseen corridors, slow and steady, as though it has walked the same path for countless ages. You are invited now into one such path, an ancient design of stone and silence. It is the labyrinth. The labyrinth is not a maze. It does not trick. It does not deceive. It is not built to confuse. It is a single winding way, a thread that turns and bends, but always leads inward. Step by step, one walks toward the center, toward stillness, toward truth. In ancient lands, labyrinths were drawn upon floors of temples. They were etched in rock, traced in sand, woven into the fabric of story. Some were vast enough for the pilgrim to walk slowly, feet brushing stone in long spirals of devotion. Some were small enough to trace with a fingertip, as though the hand itself were a traveler of spirit. The Greeks spoke of one great labyrinth. Built by Daedalus, it was said to hold the Minotaur, a creature half bull, half man. Yet beyond the tale of beast and hero lay another meaning. The labyrinth was the mind itself, the wandering corridors of fear and longing. To enter was to face the unknown, to journey inward, and at the center, not a monster, but a secret waiting to be found. In Crete, stones once formed the spiral paths. Dancers traced the steps of the labyrinth, their movements weaving story and song. It was called the crane dance, a dance of circling life and death, of loss and return. To dance the labyrinth was to mirror the soul's own journey, spiraling, returning, always finding center. In other lands, too, the labyrinth appeared. Among the Celts, it was a pattern of 7 folds, a path walked in ritual silence. Among the Norse, stones by the sea were laid in spirals, guiding fishermen to safe return, a charm against the restless ocean. In Christian cathedrals, labyrinths spread across marble floors. Pilgrims unable to travel far walked them slowly, each step a prayer, each turn a release. And in every place the labyrinth carried the same promise: walk the path, and you will reach the heart. Imagine yourself now, standing at the entrance of such a path. The air is still, the moon above pours soft light like silver spilled across stone. Before you the labyrinth stretches, its winding way laid clear. No walls tower high, no fear waits in shadow. Only the path and the silence of night. You place 1 foot forward. The stones are cool, smooth from many travelers. Your steps echo faintly, a rhythm that steadies your breath. The path bends, curves, circles back. Though you walk, you feel as though you have not moved. Yet slowly, gently, the center draws nearer. Every turn of the labyrinth is like a turn of thought. Memories rise and fade. Faces appear, then vanish like mist. Worries drift in, then dissolve into quiet. The labyrinth receives them all and carries them away. Step by step, the mind grows lighter. The center is not yet reached, but already you feel it. A stillness waits ahead, a flame unshaken by the wind, and the path, though winding, always carries you closer. In ancient belief, the labyrinth was a passage. It was walked before rites of rebirth, before sacred unions, before journeys of soul. Those who entered were never the same upon leaving. Something was released. Something was found. Some said the labyrinth was like the womb of the earth. To walk inward was to return to her care, to be sheltered, to be renewed. Others said it was the map of the cosmos, spirals upon spirals, world within world. To walk the labyrinth was to walk the universe itself. Now you come closer to the center. The air grows calm, as if even the breeze pauses here in reverence. Your steps slow, your breath deepens. At last you arrive. The heart of the labyrinth is simple. No treasure lies there. No statue, no throne. Only an open space, still and waiting. Yet within that emptiness, there is fullness. Within that silence, there is peace. You stand, and the world around you seems to soften. The stars shine clearer, their light falling like quiet rain. The earth beneath you holds steady, like the embrace of an old friend, and your heart, your own center, beats in gentle harmony. The labyrinth teaches this: life bends and turns. The way may seem long, and sometimes you feel far from the place you seek. But the path is whole. It always leads inward. It always carries you home. When you leave the labyrinth, you will walk outward again. The same bends, the same turns, but with a lighter step. The journey outward is the return to life. The spirit reborn, the mind at rest. For now, you remain in the stillness of the center. The night wraps around you like cloth. The labyrinth holds you in its embrace. Every worry has unwound. Every thought has loosened. Only the gentle rhythm of breath remains. Only the soft hush of stars above. Let the circle of the labyrinth become the circle of your rest. Let its winding way fold into your dreams. There is no need to rush. There is no need to seek. You are already held in the quiet at the heart. The time will come to leave, to walk outward once more. But even then, the center will remain within you. A still flame, a calm river, a truth that does not fade. Whenever the world grows heavy, you may return to it. Close your eyes, and you will walk the spirals again. You will reach the stillness again. The stars are patient. The night is kind. The labyrinth rests beneath them, an ancient pattern, a path of peace. You stand at its heart, your spirit quiet, your breath at ease. Now let yourself drift as though carried by its spirals. Let your mind wander, softly, slowly, to the center of sleep. You are guided. You are safe. You are home. Now rest as the labyrinth folds into silence. Now rest as the stars return. Let us drift onward, to the stillness within. The night is calm. A soft hush moves through the unseen air, like the whisper of an ancient breath. Above, the stars hang like lanterns, patient and steady. Their light falls upon a temple courtyard where stone bowls rest, carved long ago by unseen hands. Here begins the story of the vessel, quiet, waiting, eternal. In the olden days, people gathered around vessels. They poured water into them, clear and shimmering. They filled them with oil that caught the flame and became light. They placed wine inside, deep and red, to be shared in joy. Yet they knew the vessel was more than clay or bronze. It was a womb of mystery, a cradle of the sacred. The vessel was emptiness, yet it was not barren. It was open, ready to receive, ready to give. Like the night sky, hollow yet filled with stars. Like the earth, dark yet carrying seeds. Like the heart, soft yet holding memory and love. Stories tell of priestesses who carried jars upon their heads. They walked slowly to rivers and springs, their feet silent upon the sand. The jars were heavy, yet they carried them with grace. For within them was water, and within water was life. The people drank and were refreshed. They washed, they blessed, they healed. The jar was more than clay. It was the hand of the divine giving itself to the thirsty. In temples, vessels were set upon altars. Some held sacred oil, pressed from olives under the sun. Priests would dip their fingers into the golden liquid. They anointed the brows of kings, the sick, the newborn. The oil shone like liquid sunlight, poured from heaven into earth. The vessel was the bridge, the gentle keeper of this light. The vessel has no shape of its own, yet it gives shape to what is placed inside. Empty, it waits. Filled, it serves, and when poured out, it returns again to stillness. The vessel is the body of the Spirit. It teaches without speaking, to hold, to release, to remain. Ancient myths spoke of great chalices, jeweled and glowing. They were said to carry nectar from the gods, sweet as dawn. To drink from such a cup was to taste eternity, to be renewed in body and soul. In stories whispered by firelight, travelers searched for these holy vessels, not for wealth, but for the mystery within them. For the cup was always a mirror. What it gave depended on what was brought to it. Bitterness poured in became bitterness poured out. Love placed within became love overflowing. There is also a vessel in the earth itself, the caves, the valleys, the dark hollow places where rivers are born. They too are bowls vast and patient. They carry the waters until the time is right, then release them to the plains below. The mountain is a vessel of snow. The cloud is a vessel of rain. The tree is a vessel of fruit. All of creation is a vessel, holding the sacred until it is ready to be given. Think of the mother. Her body is a vessel hidden yet radiant. Within her a spark grows into a life. She does not create alone. She carries. She guards. She offers her breath and her blood. The womb is the most ancient vessel of all. Older than temples, older than kings. Through this vessel the mystery of life is renewed again and again. The vessel is not only outside, it also lives within. The heart is a vessel of longing. The mind is a vessel of thought. The soul is a vessel of light. Each one carries, each one pours. Sometimes they are full, sometimes they are empty, but always they remain vessels, ready to be filled again. In some old tales, the gods themselves were described as vessels. The sun was called a golden cup, poured out each morning across the horizon. The moon was a silver bowl, brimming with cool nightlight. The stars were lamps hung in the endless sky, each a vessel of fire. Even time was seen as a vessel, an unseen jar into which days and seasons flowed, one after another, until the jar was filled and emptied again. To walk the path of the vessel was to learn stillness, not to grasp too tightly, not to cling to what is given, to receive with gratitude, to release with peace. This was the wisdom of the vessel, silent yet deep, fragile in form, eternal in meaning. Imagine standing before such a vessel now. Its surface is smooth. It glows faintly in the quiet light of the moon. Inside, water rests without ripple. You lean close and you see your reflection. Not sharp, not harsh, only soft, like a dream. In that reflection you see both your face and the sky above. The vessel shows you that you are part of both earth and heaven. Part of stillness, part of flowing. Part of emptiness, part of fullness. Long ago, people gave thanks to the vessels. They painted them with spirals, with flowers, with suns and birds. They placed them in tombs, knowing that even in death, one must carry something to drink, something to offer, something to hold. The vessel was not left behind, it journeyed with the soul. For in the other world, too, the vessel was needed, to carry the light, to carry the blessing, to carry the eternal. The vessel is not loud, it does not demand. It simply holds in silence. It is patience shaped into form. It is humility made visible. Yet it is also power, for in its hollowness it makes space for the sacred to dwell. Without emptiness, nothing can be filled. Without stillness, nothing can be born. This is the mystery of the vessel. Let the image remain in your thoughts. A vessel standing in the twilight, silent, waiting, its open mouth turned toward the sky. A cup ready for the rain, a bowl ready for the flame, a heart ready for love, And as you drift, you too become like the vessel. You are the quiet container of dreams. Your breath fills and empties like water poured and lifted again. Your spirit rests in the soft hollow of the night. You are safe. You are held. You are enough. Now let the stars return. Let the night wrap you as gently as the clay wraps the sacred oil. Let the silence pour into you, drop by drop. Rest in the mystery of being a vessel yourself, empty yet whole, still yet alive, waiting, but already complete. Let us drift onward, as the vessels of the earth keep their secrets, and the vessels of the heart keep their light. The night is deep. A silver moon drifts high, resting above hills that seem older than time. The air is cool and still, carrying the faint scent of earth. In the hush of this hour, shadows gather gently around stones. Stones that have stood through countless dawns and countless twilights. Silent, waiting, eternal. Stone is the first memory of the world. It was here before footsteps, before fire, before story. It lay beneath rivers, beneath mountains, beneath forests unborn. Patient and unmoving, it watched the birth of sky and sea. Stone carries the breath of ages without speaking. It is the keeper of silence, the guardian of memory. When people first looked for a place to pray, they turned to stone. They raised altars from rough rock, unshaped, unpolished. They placed offerings upon it, grain, water, wine, or a flame. The altar did not change, but it witnessed. It held the weight of the gift and the prayer. It became the meeting place of earth and heaven. Stone was chosen because it endures. Wood burns, clay shatters, but stone holds. It resists the storms. It bears the touch of generations. It receives the marks of hands and chisels, and still it stands, unchanged in its essence. In the ancient lands, tombs were carved of stone. Within them bodies rested in stillness. The flesh would fade, but the stone endured. Upon its walls were etched stories, lines of language, spirals, suns, birds, rivers. The stone carried the soul's memory when voices could no longer speak. It held the names of kings, of mothers, of children, their marks carved deep, so that time could not erase them. The tomb of stone was not only a place of ending, it was also a doorway. For many believed that death was not silence, but passage. The stone tomb was the threshold. Through its stillness, the soul stepped from one world into another. The stone was the keeper of that gate. There were also stones of guidance, tall, standing, lifted into the sky. They rose in circles and rows in lone pillars. No one knows all their meanings, but all feel their power. They aligned with stars, with solstices, with the rising of the sun. They taught that stone, though heavy, could point toward heaven. They were markers for the wandering soul, reminders that even in silence, one is guided. Stones carried sacred marks. The hammer struck, the chisel sang. Upon the surface were carved words of prayer, names of gods, symbols of the eternal. The stone became a book that could not burn, a book read by sunlight and shadow, a book carried across centuries. Even today, these stones remain. They stand in deserts, in forests, on cliffs by the sea. They do not speak, yet they tell stories. They do not move, yet they carry journeys. Each one is a memory, held longer than flesh or flame. Stone is also the mountain, a vessel vast and unmoving. Its slopes rise into the clouds, its roots sink into the hidden earth. Many saw the mountain as an altar built by the hand of creation itself. Pilgrims climbed its paths, seeking closeness with the divine. At the peak, where the air is thin and the silence is complete, they place stones upon stones, making small cairns, humble offerings to the eternal stone beneath their feet. Stone can seem hard, cold, distant, yet within it holds mystery. Crystal grows in secret chambers. Veins of color wind like rivers. In the heart of the stone lies light, waiting to be revealed. What seems plain holds treasure. What seems still carries life. In some stories, gods were born of stone. Statues carved from rock were said to breathe, to open their eyes, to hear prayers whispered in the night. The stone was not lifeless. It was only sleeping, waiting for the touch of spirit. There are tales, too, of tablets of stone. Upon them were carved laws, wisdom, teachings. People looked to these tablets as unshakable truths. For words written on paper fade, words written in memory change, but words carved into stone remain. The stone was both page and guardian. The lesson became eternal. Think of the stone as a teacher. It does not hurry. It does not argue. It simply endures. Through rain and wind, through heat and frost, it remains, slowly wearing, yet always present. It teaches patience. It teaches endurance. It teaches silence. Imagine now a stone altar in the night. The moonlight rests upon it, silver and soft. Its surface is rough beneath the hand. On it lies a single flame, flickering but steady. The stone does not tremble with the fire. It holds the light without being burned. So too does the soul hold both sorrow and joy. Silent, enduring, yet capable of carrying light. Or picture a stone tomb deep within the earth. The air is cool. The silence is complete. But carved upon the wall are images of birds in flight, boats upon waters, stars shining above. Even in death, the stone tells of life, of journeys, of hope beyond endings. Stones are also seeds of memory. When a loved one departs, stones are placed upon their resting place. Each stone is a whisper, a prayer, a presence. Though small, it carries weight. It says, "You are remembered." And the silent stone listens, keeping the memory safe. You too are like stone in some ways. Your body carries the marks of time. Your heart carries memories carved deep. Your soul, though silent, endures. Within you is strength, patient and steady. Within you is stillness, unbroken by storms. You are both soft like water and strong like stone, both fleeting as breath and lasting as mountain. As the night deepens, let the image of stone remain with you, silent, enduring, yet gentle. It holds the flame without fear. It carries the memory without end. It does not vanish. It does not rush. It waits always. Now let the stars lean closer. Let the moonlight pour like silver upon the stones. Let the silence deepen until it rests in your own breath. Rest like the stone, still, steady, eternal. Hold nothing, yet carry everything. Be the altar. Be the mountain. Be the silent stone. Let us drift onward, into the quiet beyond words, where memory is safe, and the night holds all.